what is the benefit, what is actually beneficial for all the living entities in general, what is the beneficial, the ultimate benefit for all the living entities? Then the answer is bhakti. And the second question he asked that, what is the essence of all scriptures? What scriptures are saying, what is the essence? So it's a process of devotional service, like that. So bhakti yoga. So basically the answer is bhakti only for both the questions. The first two questions, the answer is this. And this series of verses actually describes the process of bhakti. So Vishwanath Thakur, clearly tells that how it is actually from Shraddha to Prema. And he describes the 14 stages. We know 9 stages, but he describes the 14 stages very beautifully. He describes that. So, when I can, so he says, first causeless mercy brings Satam Krpa, then Mahat Seva, service to devotees, then Shraddha, faith developed by serving devotees. Then he says Guru Padasya, seeking shelter in the feet of Guru. Then Bhadaneshu Spriha, eagerness to worship. Then Bhakti, then Bhakti and Anarthapagamam, disappearance of the obstacles. Nishtha, steadiness. Ruchi, taste. Asakti, firm attachment. Rati, fondness. Prema, devotional service, devotional love. Then Darshanam, vision of the Lord. Then Hare, Madhurya Anubhava, direct experience of the Lord, Hare, sweetness. So after Prema also he does 2 more stages like that. So total 14 he describes. And before Shraddha also he says Satam Kripa, because the Shraddha also comes by causes versus the devotees. And Satam Kripa, and then Mahat Seva, and some service to devotees happen, then Shraddha is developed. So before Shraddha also he tells 2 more stages also, like he describes. So anyway, so this whole series of verses are very important for all of us, because this completely describes the process of devotional service in our life. How we can take that seriously and can make spiritual advancement very nicely. So you see in this verse, so he's talking about the process of devotional service. What is that? Shrimatam Swakatha Krishna, Punya Shavana Kirtana, Vidantastoya Badrani Vidhanoti Srihat Satam. So he says that Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee, who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. So, in our life, this entire process of hearing, Srila Prabhupada emphasized a lot, in the life of sadhaka, that how we can somehow develop this urge, that eagerness to hear the message of God, message of the Lord. Because that is the main foundation for our spiritual progress. So Prabhupada said so many times that hearing is the first thing, it's the beginning, hearing is the beginning. So the entire process of devotional service begins with this process of Shravana. And when developed urge to hear these messages, then you can see that how Lord becomes very, very, very interested to actually cleanse the heart of that devotee. Because here that word Sharvatam. So those who have developed the urge to hear the message, that is emphasized. That how the urge, that means eagerness, earnestness to hear the message, is very much emphasized here. And how this urge is developed. So before this verse, it is mentioned that the urge is developed, the eagerness to hear the message of the Lord is developed by serving the Mahat. Chan Mahat Sevaya Bhakta. When we serve the great souls, then we develop this urge, that eagerness. The affinity for hearing the message of God is developed by serving those devotees are completely free from all vice and great, and then great service is done. Like that. So you see, the servants of God are to be respected as God by the devotees who actually want to go back to God. And he says one more thing, that says by serving the servant of God, one can please God more than by directly serving the Lord. So it's a very important thing, that how the servants of the Lord, that makes difference in our life. So if you somehow serve them, then Lord is pleased. Then Lord is pleased. The servants of the God come to propagate God consciousness, intelligent people should cooperate with them in every respect. By serving the servant of God, one can please God more than by directly serving the Lord. It's a very important point, that because what happens, the Lord is pleased when He sees that His servants are properly respected, because the servant risk everything for the service of the Lord and also very dear to the Lord. That's why Lord says, declares in Gita also, that no one is dearer to Him than one who risks everything to preach His glory. So by serving the servants of the Lord, one gradually gets the quality of such servants. So this happens because when you serve the servants of the Lord, then what happens is we also develop their qualities. And what they carry, one of the very important quality what they carry is Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
What is very important quality they carry is that they have earnestness to hear the message of God. They are very eager to hear the message of God. You can see that. No? So because they have so much love for the Lord, so they are always very eager to hear. Like our Amrish Maharaj. Sutin Chakarat, Achyut Sat Kathodaya, it says. So whenever there is Achyut Katha going on, Parshit Maharaj ear will automatically go there. He was so much eager to hear. So we see that how even Rukmini mother also, just she had such eagerness to hear about Krishna, and then she developed so much of intense love for Krishna, and she only wanted to get Krishna, nobody else, like that. So this eagerness to hear comes when you actually please the servant of the Lord, when you serve them. But when you serve those dear servants of the Lord, then their qualities also come to us. We develop that eagerness to hear also. And then the further verse is talking about, and when we have such kind of eagerness, when we develop that eagerness to hear the Lord, then the Lord becomes very interested to cleanse our heart. He takes very great interest in cleaning the heart from all contamination of material enjoyment, from the devotee's heart. So that's why the service to great devotees is very vital point what is mentioned here. One develops such great eagerness to hear by service to great devotee. And for example, our Narad Muni, because Narad boy, he got opportunity to serve those Bhakti Vedantis. When Bhakti Vedantis came in his village, and his mother was maid servant, she was trying to assist them. And the small boy also he also got some opportunity to serve. And in their association, when he was also like being there and serving them, assisting them, then he also developed an affinity. What they had some great eagerness to hear and discuss. So Narad boy also developed that affinity. He also got. So, and then further he says here that the message of personality of God and Sri Krishna are not different from him. So he says, whenever therefore offenses, hearing and glorification of God are undertaken, it is to be understood that Lord Krishna is present there in the form of transcendental song. So whenever there is offensive glorification of the Lord is going on, and devotees are sincerely glorifying the Lord is very much present there. And then in that association, one can actually get very powerfully impacted by that association, and one can get purified. So Lord is personally there in the form of His glorification, in the form of sound. So this is how also is very amazing fact that whenever there is glorification of the Lord is present. So Nayam Tishtami Vaikuntha, Yoginam Hiteshwar, Yatra Gayanti Madhvata, Tatra Tishtami Narada. Krishna is also said that how Lord is saying that I reside where my devotees are very sincerely and eagerly glorifying me. So then there Lord is very much present. So one can actually associate with the Lord whenever there is pure chanting and glorification of the Lord is going on. And that is most auspicious. Just by hearing this pure glorification of the Lord, one can become pious. One can develop all these devotional credits, and one's heart can get purified. Srila Prabhupada was saying one lecture, just by coming to the temple and sitting in the Bhagavatam classes, one actually becomes pious. Just by hearing, just by coming and hearing. He may not be doing anything, just by coming and sitting, by hearing, he is becoming pious. Then everything else will happen, all miracles will happen. Then he will be inspired transcendently. And then he will start performing so many devotional services. It will happen like that. But the beginning is hearing. When Krpa was chanting, in New York, in Compton Square Park, so there, Brahmanand Prabhu, Gardani Prabhu, all the devotees, they were first to Achyutanand Prabhu. They all came. The first day they got up and they were chanting. Prabhupada remembers very fondly how they were the first ones who got up. They came and they were dancing and singing. So they heard the pure holy name, the pure chanting of Srila Prabhupada. They heard it. And after that, Srila Prabhupada started some Gita sessions also, like that. So that's why just by hearing, submissively hearing the pure glorification of the Lord, their heart was getting purified. They got purified like that. Then he says that the Lord is so kind to us that He can be present before us personally in the form of transcendental song. But unfortunately, we have no taste for hearing and glorifying the Lord's name and activities. So it is kindness of the Lord that Lord is making Himself available in the form of His sound. I mean, through sound, through His glorification, through His pure glorification. So transcendental sound, the Lord is personally present. In holy names and His holy fame, He is present directly. So, so in a devotee's life, the aspect of sadhana or trying to sincerely be in touch with transcendental sound vibration is so vital, because that is the whole essence of entire process of bhakti yoga. Because yoga means what? To connect, right? And this is the most emphasized and the most important way actually a person can actually get connected to the Lord. Like Srila Prabhupada was saying that there are many people who just try to read scriptures and try to understand Radha Krishna pastime directly something, and they misunderstand. Prabhupada says that. It is very difficult because they are not come in touch with bona fide Guru Parampara. They don't understand properly. And Prabhupada went on saying that actually what they can understand, because Kali Yuga people are, the quality is too low. They are so much affected by ignorance and passions. It becomes very difficult for Kali Yuga souls to actually comprehend the glorious pastimes of Radha Krishna. So Prabhupada says that so that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, with very confidential servants, very confidential devotees, he discussed this transcendental pastimes of the Lord. Prabhupada says even the Lord's pastime of stealing, so I was reading this Madhven Puri section there. In Madhven Puri's, for Madhven Puri, the Lord stole the kheer. So then Prabhupada says that, so this is very transcendental pastime. So here, that Pujari was directly telling that, hey Madhven Puri, the Lord has stolen the kheer for you. So please come and take this. So he is openly declaring that Lord has stolen. Like if even somebody stole something, we will not just, we will be like, okay, let us give him some disciplinary action and all that. It's not like glorified. But Lord, when he stole, then it is very auspicious, very, very wonderful, it's glorious. So he is declaring. So Prabhupada makes this point there that nobody actually with this pleasure says that okay, this person has stolen. It's not something very good. But because it's a transcendental thing, when Lord steals also, is very, very auspicious, very, very wonderful, glorious. And he's by his stealing, the Lord is also becoming famous by his that heart, that how for his devotee he is stealing, but also the devotee also is becoming very glorious by that. So he's making Madhven Puri also glorious, because for Madhven Puri's devotion, the Lord is so pleased that he is stealing. He is stealing the kheer like that. So there Prabhupada makes a point. He was talking about how people should not just cheaply read these Radha Krishna pastimes, because by that they may just simply become rusty only many times, because they don't hear properly from the bona fide Guru Parampara. So Prabhupada is saying that what to speak of Radha Krishna pastime, and these pastimes also should not be narrated. We are saying to the ordinary class of people. They may misunderstand this also, because they may not understand, because they are not taking shelter of the proper bona fide Guru Parampara. So Prabhupada says, let them hear the holy name of the Lord. Prabhupada says there. So let them hear the holy name of the Lord, get purified. And as they gradually get purified, then they will be able to understand this wonderful pastimes of the Lord also. So, and of course, the devotees can hear when he is hearing from a bona fide devotee in Guru Parampara, when he tells very properly and gives them right understanding of the position of the Lord. And then he narrates the pastime, then the people can actually understand also. But not like, those people who just simply jump into the scriptures and trying to read. So then they actually don't properly get the right understanding of the Lord, and they don't get purified. That's why this the whole process of devotional service is actually based on this point of taking shelter of a spiritual master. Bona fide spiritual master, when he comes in life, and when we get the sound vibration from a bona fide Guru Shishya Parampara, then it has an impact. That's why so this massive personality of God is Sri Krishna, not different from him. So that becomes really, that happens really when somebody hears from a bona fide Guru. So then one gets association with the Lord just by hearing that sound vibration, one actually gets association with the Lord. So this is a very important thing, because in devotional service we need to be connected to the Lord in devotion. So that's why by hearing the message, of hearing the holy name received in Guru Parampara, that way we get directly union with the Lord. And That's how we get purified, that way. So, and when we are hearing, so Prabhupada also writes, here is a purport also, later he writes, that how this submissive oral reception is very important. So now when we are hearing also, so that what the spirit of hearing, that is also very important. So the whole spirit of hearing is actually, we want to serve, we want to become a genuine servant of Lord. So I'll just exactly tell what it says. It says, perfect knowledge is called parampara, or deductive knowledge, coming down from the authority to the submissive oral receiver, with a bona fide by service and surrender. So that devotee who is presenting Guru Parampara, the bona fide Guru, he also is qualified by his service to Guru Parampara. So to degree one has become servant of Guru Parampara, to that degree he can actually emit that pure sound vibration also. Like that. And even for hearer also, the hearer, if he comes with the spirit of submission, then I also want to become servant of Guru Parampara, servant of the Lord, servant of his devotees. So with that spirit, then the message becomes very effective also. So we have to gradually come to this platform of submissively hearing, with the intention to become genuine spiritual practitioner, genuine servant of Guru Parampara, with that spirit. So Prabhupada says not by not coming the challenging spirit, or just to get some information and become some scholar. So that's not our intention. So we are not hearing to just get some information. And then we just hear, we get a nice points, but the points may remain point only. So many points may go in our system. This point, that point, so many points. It's good to remember the points. It's good to study this. Prabhupada says one should scrutinizingly study his books. He did not say just read, study. So it is very nice, but we should not forget the intention. The intention is that we actually want to become proper servants. We want to actually dissolve our false ego. As we keep hearing, our number of masters should increase, and the quality of our service has to increase also. We have to become more and more genuine and proper servants of Hari Guru Vaishnavas. So that is the intention of associating with Lord also. Because Duryodhana also was associating with the Lord. He got to see the Lord, correct? But he did not get much effect, because that was not with that intention to serve the Lord. That submission was not there. It was like, but Arjuna also associated with the Lord, but his intention was to serve. He wanted to actually please the Supreme Lord. So because of that submissive attitude, Arjuna gets getting benefited, you can see. But those who don't have that submissive attitude, then they may not have that much impact. Even if they are directly seeing the Lord, you can see that. So that's why it is very important for us also that we keep our ambition very proper when we are reading and hearing. That actually want to become simple, genuine servant of Hari Guru Vaishnavas, like that. We want to be absorbed in their glories, and we want to serve them. Because as we remember those glories of our masters, then we naturally like to serve them also. We like to please them also. To the degree we are absorbed in their glories, we are absorbed in the glories of the Lord, glories of our masters. To that degree we want to please them also. We want to serve them also. That way. So with that intention we can serve. So all our sadhana is to actually service. Sadhana should lead to having a genuine servant, becoming a genuine servant. If that is not happening, if sadhana is making us proud, then there is some problem. But then maybe we have some material outlook towards whatever we are doing, reading, hearing, chanting, and everything like that. So it should dissolve our false egos. It should make us more and more humble servants of Hari Guru Vaishnavas, like that. So that's why sadhana should be done with the intention to serve also. So then sadhana itself is a seva also, because what we are doing, hearing, chanting, is all nothing but service only in that sense, right? So, but the mood we should always remember. Mood is that we are always trying to be servants, good and better. We want to become better and better servants of Guru Parampara. So that is very important. So, yeah. So this keeping in touch with sound vibration is very important. That's why Prabhupada also said the next. One of the next verse comes also that how the regular attendance in Srimad Bhagavatam, Nashta Prayasha Abhadreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevya, Bhagavati Uttama Shloke, Bhakti Bhavati Nashti. He is saying, by regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So this also Prabhupada is telling in the translation the regular attendance is saying. That means we should have attendance chart and come and put attendance P. Meaning what? That we are attending the Bhagavatam classes regularly. And Prabhupada said daily. That's why there is, we have instituted it as well. The daily there is Srimad Bhagavatam class, like that. So actually, our sadhana, it becomes very effective if we utilize our morning hours. The morning actually, if you can, the time if we can utilize, morning 4:30 to 9, and then we can just focus on completely being with the Lord, directly being with the Lord. So then one can actually get so much resolution of the Lord, so much association. Like sometimes people say, Prabhu, I anyway do everything for God only. I'm working also for the Lord, earning money for the Lord, taking care of the children also for the Lord. We are doing everything for the Lord only. Actually, it's not so easy to dovetail. People talk about dovetailing, but dovetailing is not so easy. Actually, for dovetailing also we need some devotional strength. We need some consciousness to be able to dovetail that. Otherwise, the dovetail becomes very challenging, and then we become more entangled. Actually, sometimes. So it becomes very difficult to really, make the demarcation whether I'm doing it for Krishna or I'm just doing it for myself. It becomes very, very challenging like that. That's why Srila Prabhupada instituted this morning program sadhana, morning sadhana. Because that's what happens, that when you very sincerely, take shelter of the Lord during those morning hours, when you have that, such a sacred space of yours, when you're fully giving yourself, you're just like surrendering. That is your surrender to the Supreme Lord in the morning hours. That, oh Lord, I'm only for you, nothing else. So all that sacrifice we have to do, like giving up our sleep and maybe taking rest early, because there may be many things that also may be some kind of sacrifice. So whatever is required, one is ready to make that sacrifice, so that he is available to the Lord in the morning hours. This is Prabhupada instituted. Prabhupada has told many times, one should get up at 4 a.m. and one should attend Mangal Artika and all that morning program, and everything is instituted like that. Why? Because these golden hours, one can get so much of blessings by taking, just by surrendering to this entire, morning program sadhana actually, what we have, and with the mood to become proper servants, like that. So that's why everybody should have some sort of morning program in their life. Not everybody may not be in the temple, but wherever we are, we should have some solid time where we are simply with the Lord, where we are chanting for the praise of the Lord, we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, to associate with Srila Prabhupada, we are having some arti, where we are expressing our gratitude to Guru and we are glorifying the Lord by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this focus time is required for us, because then only the consciousness is created, and then in daytime what we work, then we can have strength to offer it to Krishna. Because that is only strength won't be there then. It becomes very challenging, because if that consciousness is not created and we just jump into our daily chores, our job, our studies and so many things, it becomes very challenging. Even after having done morning sadhana also it is challenging. So what is because we have not done anything and we just jump into our chores? It's not easy. It's not easy because we don't get that strength. So we need that strength actually. And that strength comes by just immersing yourself in sound vibration. So the morning hours, you see so much of sound, transcendental sound is so much there in the morning hours. Correct, no? What we are doing, we are just expressing our gratitude, we are singing, Guru Ashtam, we are singing, then we are singing Hare Krishna Mantra, Narasimha Arati, Tulsi Arati, Hare Krishna Mantra again, then Shashtam prayer, then again Hare Krishna Mantra, we are chanting 16 hours. Then we are hearing Bhagavatam, before that we have Guru Puja singing, and then we are singing Hare Krishna Mantra, singing Bhajan. So much of sound vibration is there. So much we can receive. And what we speak if we do with some more quality, like with sincere desire to get purified, to become proper servants. So we are like becoming ready, to actually offer our whole day with whatever services we are going to do. And for that we are getting ready in the morning, like that. So I remember when first time I think when I came for book distribution in Kunjari temple, when I was in second year of my college I think. So that time they would say that, so if you are on book distribution, and you're trying to distribute books, and it may be, it's become very difficult, very challenging. So they were telling the secret is morning sadhana. They would tell what Mr. Kamara said, same thing they were also saying. But that time it clicked to me. They were saying that if you have done your morning chanting very nicely, then it's like you are really filled with so much of the spiritual shakti. The bhakti shakti is so much there. When you can just sincerely chant your rounds and take shelter of the Lord. So then you're full. So I was saying, but if you have not done that, then you're like a gun with empty bullets. So you may be speaking so many things, but the person will not finding so much interesting like that. But if actually we have done our homework very nicely, we have associated with the Lord, then so much bhakti shakti is there. Like so, it doesn't matter how many books go, but the point is that the solitude should be of great quality. Even somebody may not take the book, but you can see that the person is touched. The person will have some lasting impression of the book distributor has done his morning sadhana very well. Because he actually carrying the mercy of Parampara very nicely, very lively. Like this is a live bar. If you touch in shock comes, you can get shocked. The same way, if you have done our morning sadhana very nicely, then the current of mercy of Guru Parampara is very much lively there. And then even though sometimes you will be going in your company, you may not be directly talking about Krishna or something, but because you are carrying that mercy so much, so even with your simple acts also, people are actually getting impacted. Because somehow they are seeing a devotee, they are in touch with devotee, they are dealing with devotee. So just by being in presence of devotee also they are getting purified. Because they are carrying that mercy. You are carrying that mercy because you have received so much mercy. Because you are so Krishna conscious. So that the Krishna consciousness is so amazing that even if you don't do anything also people are getting purified also. They are getting purified. Yeah, that is true. Like some people became devotees just by seeing Prabhupada's simple act. Like I heard this, Prabhupada was spitting the orange seed in dustbin exactly when he took. Just by seeing that, one person was so attracted. And he just wanted to be a devotee. So the pure devotees, all activities become very, very full with a lot of potency because they are carrying bhakti shakti. So in our own capacity, when we also trying to take shelter, to the degree we receive that bhakti shakti, to that degree we also become the agents of Krishna. That's why it is very important that we do our morning sadhana very sincerely and seriously. That's very, very vital, like that. But imagine if you lose our morning hours. Suppose we get up like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. We don't have time to chant also, and we jump into our study, jump into our college, or whatever job. We go there, and then there is no time, and then you're like 8 hours, 10 hours, you're locked up, can't do much, and over and above, so much of things also have put on you, because the Rajaguna Tamaguna is so high. I just poured on us, cut, like that. So we don't have. So what is speak of transforming others? We don't have even strength to safeguard also. Then so much more of baggage we get. That we get more downloaded in so many things. And then we come back, then we have to somehow finish my rounds, finish our rounds. So it becomes very challenging. The quality also becomes very bad. So it is like a vicious cycle, it becomes that way. So it becomes very challenging. And then what happens, because when we don't do it, heartily and just somehow finish it, then we don't develop proper taste. And then it becomes kind of, one feels very bored. One feels some kind of boredom in doing devotional activities like that. So Krishna also was asking, that Brahmana, that how, whether your devotional service, what you are doing, is it going easily or not? I mean, you are able to do it happily? Are you engaged in your devotional service nicely? Are you able to do all the duties nicely? Without much troubles. That means one should be able to do his devotional duties with a lot of ease. He should have his own space and nicely can do it. So it should not be like somehow efforts are being done.
Which Brahmana?
I'm not very sure whether it is Krishna Renu Sudama or Krishna Renu that Brahmana which Rukmini.
Rukmani Brahmana. Are you satisfied in your?
Yeah, are you satisfied?
In your Brahmanical.
In your Brahmanical duties and all that. So there Radha explained that how we should be able to do our devotional duties with not so much like somehow slogging to somehow complete our round, somehow do our I remember when I was working, sometimes when I get up in the morning, just come in front of the altar, because morning is teaching electric physics, is teaching, and then sometimes class is going on till late, and then come and suddenly you're there in the morning program. So I'd be like out of like I was thinking I just come in front of Lord, but it's still like so much is going on. So you're not fully available that time, because you haven't prepared. Then I asked Rukmini Krishna Prabhu, who was the ISKCON president, Delhi. I asked Prabhu what to do, because that time I was really struggling. It was a very tight schedule going on. Then Prabhu said that you have to prepare for a morning program a night before also. That means you have to think consciously that okay, morning I have to be there and remember to do that time, and something like that he described. What I took it, I am explaining. So basically you have to think about that, how I'm going to chant tomorrow. I have to chant, I have to, I'll be performing this, Mangalarti, I'll be singing, so remember the Guru. So before only, one night before only preparing ourselves. So it is very nice. Just like when you go for an interview, you prepare, mentally get prepared. Then you perform also nicely there. Then you do that very seriously, sincerely also. So there can be some preparation even a night before also. That tomorrow I'm going to chant. Like suppose sometimes we get in the morning, where is my bead bag? So when I got in the morning, where is my bead bag? Bead bag is not there. I think where is my bead bag now? That is such my bead bag. And I think the bead bag was here only. So I was thinking this is foolishness. I should not be so careless about the bead bag also. I'm already careless about so many things. But in bead bag also I'm careless. Then Krishna will be taking also cheaply to me. That way. So it is very important that we prepare a night before itself. That okay, I have chant and I have time. So that's why then you prepare to get up in the morning, like that. Because when that preparation is not done, when the alarm rings, then immediately snooze, and then we sleep also. Because we have not made our mind like that. When you are saying that he doesn't need alarm clock also to get up. Another Gopal in Pune was saying that he doesn't need it. Why? Because when I think of getting up at that time, I can get up. Like that. So see, mind is so powerful. It can actually give you, if you really desire, okay, I want to get up. There are devotees who do that way. I'm not at that way. I put my alarm clock, and I sometimes have to tell devotees also. That's why I have become a little late, and I tell sometimes devotees, please make sure that I get it. But the point is, if you're not preparing like that, then it becomes very challenging like that. So that's why we should not lose our morning hours actually somehow. It's a very bad thing that we lose our morning hours, because then we don't get that strength. The bhakti shakti we don't get them. So it's very important that we prepare ourselves to be able to attain full morning program. It's very, very important because so much of blessings are there. So Sundar Shambhu was saying once that in one of the senior devotee in Pune, he was saying that how you can do many things, like you can do Mangalarti also later in daytime. You can do many things, maybe chanting also daytime. But he's saying the morning hours are blessed hours. You get extra mercy. Because all acharyas have blessed those hours. And Srila Prabhupada instituted that. He's told, okay, my followership is there. So we get extra blessings and mercy actually, if we are there. Of course, if you see from Brahma Muhurta perspective also you can say. But from a devotional way also, if you see that morning hours, because the acharyas have given us, and because at that time all the acharyas are also there, very much there. The blessings are very much there. Other time also they are there, but these hours are very, very blessed. So one should not miss that. So if you miss that, then you lose so much of mercy. So why should you lose mercy? Let us take it that fully. So that is the first thing which I was trying to think upon, that how this morning sadhana is so powerful. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. Even if we just don't do anything, if you just doing morning sadhana so powerful, you get so much of transcendental inspiration, so much of blessings you receive. So it is so amazing. We are so blessed actually in ISKCON movement. We have this actually morning hours, and morning hours is so good that nobody disturbs also. Nobody will come and disturb you because they know that it's time for morning hours. So everybody is like focused. So that's the time for focus. In daytime, if you're chanting, how many of you feel that it's likely that people may want to just come and chant, distract us? Many times, many calls comes, many things, and sometimes you cannot say also no also, because you are more obliged. How many of you feel that? Yeah. But in morning hours, you are not that obliged also. Of course, some managers may have to sometimes, but it's still, it's like so much of focus is given. So if you do that in the morning itself, it becomes so nice, so nice. So you can so much get mercy, like that. So that's why morning hours one should try to utilize as much as possible. And second thing is also that I was thinking about urgency. This is also very important. So in spiritual life, there has to be some sense of urgency in our mood. Because the sense of urgency is not there, then we don't take devotional service that seriously. Seriously, we don't perform it many times. So Prabhupada took this sense of urgency from his guru, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Because Prabhupada said that, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that Krishna consciousness is an emergency. We cannot wait for anything. We cannot wait for any kind of political changes, any kind of social reformation or anything. Krishna consciousness is an emergency. It has to be done now, like that. So this kind of sense of emergency is required, sense of urgency is required. one of the lecture, his one Sadhana Sangha was saying that morning when we get up, we have to think, today I am going to die. Today evening, today I am going to die. So today I am going to die, and now let me utilize my hours in trying to be fully absorbed with Krishna. When you are chanting Hare Krishna mantra, you are saying that we should chant with that mood. Okay, today I am going to just, I don't know what tomorrow, what facilities I will have for my devotion. Let me just absorb myself fully today. So you are saying that. So, and Maharaj also, I have seen also, Maharaj lives with that. So the way Maharaj chants, you can see that what intensity he has. Just by thinking of him, you can become a little more serious in time. And there are many great souls like that. Those who chant like that. From the Loknath Swami Maharaj also, if you he's chanting, Loknath himself says that when you are chanting, people should have fear to go to you. Otherwise, sometimes you will chanting, with the mobile, with the laptop, and then people will be very happy to come and distract us also. So they are saying that Maharaj also I've seen, or from the Loknath Maharaj also, very vibrantly with chant. So many great souls will see how they give so much priority to chanting, because they know that this is very important business for me. So they'll do it with utmost focus, like that. So the sense of urgency comes, we can see the sense of urgency is there in their life, how they are taking Krishna consciousness with great urgency. So this mood is very important also. Like see, for sense gratification, feel some sense of urgency. Like suppose, when those people are too attached to cricket, so sometimes then when the final score is going on and all that thing, so they actually want live video and live commentary on it. See, the results you can know later also, but they feel so much of urgency, so they will do everything to be able to get that live commentary or live video, correct? Right? I don't know, those who are, some of you might have experience of that you won't miss it, See, the result you will get to know later also. You can know whether India won or Pakistan won or whatever won. You will anyway come to know. But you don't think like that. Okay, anyway I'll come to know now. So I need to watch it. I'll get to know the news anyway, who scored what. But there are people who will watch every single ball and everything because they feel like no, they should be there. Same way with so much of sense gratification also. When some sense object comes, we feel some sense of urgency. I have to do it. Like feast is there. Gulab Jamun today, but next feast will there. That we don't want. We want to this feast only. How can I say no for it? Because so many Gulab Jamuns will come in ISKCON. Don't you understand? So many. You're in ISKCON, Prabhu. So many sweets and many more delicious sweets will come. But we don't want to miss this feast. Because we feel some sense of urgency. Correct? Like even some boys also having some kind of attraction for it. He feels some sense of urgency. He has to meet the girl that day only. Or talk now only. Something like that. So he will not postpone it. So it is said that for Maya will say non-devotees don't surrender. Because non-devotees are kind of accustomed with that. They are very happy agreeing with that proposal of Maya. Don't surrender. But for devotees, Maya says postpone later. Like that. And we become complacent. And that's the enemy. That's the enemy of our life. So complacency is one of the greatest enemy of sadhaka. Because when we become complacent, then we cannot do our devotional service in present properly. Then that whole thing goes up. You understand? So we can simply, so like my spiritual master was saying once that, when we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam class, so you were saying, it was very striking, you were saying that it is like somebody is giving a rope to you and you are drowning in the ocean. So every Bhagavatam class when we think like that, I am drowning in the ocean and my spiritual master is giving this rope through this speaker. He's giving a rope. So if I hold on to that rope, then I will be saved. Otherwise, I will drown. And drown not tomorrow, today. I am going to drown. My life will be waste. But you don't think like that. कल जो अच्छे स्पीकर आएंगे ना उनका सुन लूँगा. और अभी मैं जाऊँगा रूम पे वहाँ पे अपना रिकॉर्डिंग चला के सुन लूँगा. We have our own ideas, that I will make my spiritual advancement. So many things I have to do. I can do that. So sometimes we don't feel the sense of urgency. So every devotional act when we are doing now. So what actually Acharyas are teaching us, what they are requesting us that let us try to do that with sense of urgency. That understanding that I need this. If I don't take this right now, then I am gone. That kind of feeling. That kind of mood should be there. So when that mood is there, then we will take those, every whatever is going on, whatever we are in, in present devotional service, then we'll do it with great sincerity, with great earnestness, with great eagerness to receive it wholeheartedly. Because the urgency is missing, then we will just become complacent. Now so much is given, but we won't take it. We don't take it. Correct? Like, just see the difference between a child who doesn't understand the importance of eating. I have seen my sister. One of my sister is 15 years younger than me, and one is 8 years younger. So I've seen both of them. So especially I remember the youngest one. So my mother would feed. She would hardly eat little bit, and she would run here and there everywhere. So to feed her the meals, it would take so much of time. It took half an hour also because she was running here and there. Not very cheaply she would take. So mother has to really, struggle hard, eat and little bit she'll do, again she'll catch, and she has to catch and so many things. but a devotee who is in ISKCON, and he is getting a nice feast. So you can see how we are so focused, we are tired and every item is there and very attentive and how absorbed we are. You won't miss that hours, that golden hour of prasadam, you will not miss. We'll do it with utmost sincerity and urgency. But the child doesn't understand, will not do that. So that way the child doesn't get nourished properly because he's not taking seriously. So like once I was not able to get up in the morning, and I was thinking, what happened? I'm not able to get up only. So then actually I many times skipped my night prasadam. Prasadam means I was a kid, food, water. Night I did not eat properly. So then that day I was able to get up only. And then my mother had to feed me paratha while I was lying on it. Then I got some strength to get up. Seriously. So then I understood, okay, that means eating is important for the body. I was thinking like that. So same way, we also find spiritually weak. Now I might be neglecting like this eating for many days maybe. And that day I was like kind of gone. Just playing or whatever, playing here and there. I'm not eating properly. So that's why we become negligent and then we don't take it. But those who are very health conscious, every day they are very, very careful about the diet. Every day will be, every meal they will be very attentive and sincere about it. What they are taking, how much they are taking, everything, vitamins and so many things like that. So the sense of urgency is very, very important in devotional service. Because that sense of urgency is not there, then we become very complacent and then we cannot take advantage of devotional services nicely. And then third thing I was thinking that actually when we are performing our devotional service, then also it is very important that whatever troubles come in our life, because troubles are going to come. Like right now, so many troubles are there. Many students are suffering because of not having visa issues or not having job. So many troubles come in life. Sometimes health issues are there. Like I was saying in the morning, one Muslim boy who was coming for our program in Diu, Prabhuji's house. So he was taking it quite sincerely, seriously. And recently he was diagnosed with 4th stage cancer, just recently. And no symptom, nothing. He just got some pain in his lower back, and then he went to hospital. So I knew that he has gone to hospital, but I did not know the news. And later, when I called yesterday, I got to know that he has got prostate cancer. Some prostate cancer he got. So now in a deep body, I asked how much time he had. So his brother told, sometimes people survive 5 years also. So that means they have some survival rate. It is not that. So it's like it's a pattern only. Mostly it's pattern. So it's very, very risky. So we don't know. So now what I was saying that problem can come anytime in our life. Problem and then so many problems can come. So we cannot avoid because this world is like that. The material world is designed in a way that the troubles will come like that. But a devotee, how he takes trouble, because see what happens when we don't take trouble in a proper spirit, then our hearing chanting program will disturb. Then our morning program will disturb. Then our devotional program, our intensity in devotional service becomes disturbed sometimes. Correct? When we don't have right perspective to see this troubles. So he says that tolerate the troubles as mercy. So we should see those troubles as mercy of the Lord. It is sent by the Lord. It's not mercy from him. And how can you see mercy? What do you understand by mercy? By that what happens? When you get mercy of somebody, then what happens? Yeah, you gain, you gain. That means it is going to help me somewhere. When you are receiving mercy from some devotee, that means you know that I am making a spiritual advancement. It's for me to make a spiritual advancement. It's for me to go closer to Krishna. It's for my gain. It's for my benefit. Right? So, we may not understand right now, but it's mercy. So once Prabhuji Raghav Maharaj was telling to Mati Mata that in your life, there's so much of difficulties come, So they're like mercy in disguise. So Bhakti Mata said, what mercy in disguise? It is direct mercy. It's not disguise. It's a mercy, direct mercy of the Lord, like this is saying. So that means that a devotee, if he has that attitude, okay, whatever troubles are coming, whatever troubles are there, so if it is a mercy of the Lord, then he won't unnecessarily get disturbed. That way. So then he will continue his process of devotional service because he knows actually those troubles are there, and those troubles actually will become a catalyst for him to make more spiritual advancement. So when difficulties and troubles come, it is actually Krishna is preparing us for more devotional service. He is making us more mature in our devotional service because we don't grow otherwise. Then, so Krishna may sometimes give some troubles also because then we become complacent. So Krishna actually may help us that way. So actually, lot of advances we make when we can have a right attitude towards the troubles that we get, the troubles and inconveniences, what is caused in devotional service. If we can have the right perspective to see that as mercy of the Lord. And also another aspect of be able to tolerate the troubles is when we have humility, when we actually understand that I am very insignificant. Actually, I deserve. I have been so sinful. So many lives I have not been performing devotional service, and I have been causing so much of anxiety to others. I must have caused so much of troubles to so many living entities in so many lives. In some life I might be the butcher. Some like Milgari was killing animals and all that. So we don't know what all things we have been doing. So now, and in our devotional service also, what I am doing for the Lord, I'm just kind of beginner. I'm just a toddler in the devotional service. So when somebody feels humble, when he has humility, then automatically he is ready for this kind of situations when he may feel some kind of trouble, because he feels that he deserves them. So my spiritual master says that if suppose somebody is coming and insulting, insulting back or something like that. So he says that it's very difficult to comprehend and difficult to practice, but he says this. He says that you should feel that why is just telling little things? You should tell so many things. I'm actually so bad, and he actually should beat me. He should take his shoe and should beat me, but he just simply it looks like he doesn't know about me. He just simply, I think he just knows so less. Because a devotee really feels that I've been so rascal. So this devotee is so good. He's actually just so much is tolerant, and just little bit is just telling and that also is nothing. So that's because humility is there, then our tolerance is automatically there. But if the humility is not there, then when we start thinking, I deserve, I'm a big devotee, I've done so much devotional service. So when we are not when we lack humility, then it becomes very difficult to tolerate the situation also. Like people say, अरे भगवान इतना क्यों दे रहा है दुख? तेरे को पता नहीं मैं कितना भक्ति किया. So much I have done devotional service. How can you treat your devotee like this? How can you treat like this? So much I have washed vessels in Radha Gopi Mother's temple, and you can't give me a job also to me. What are you doing? Just give me some job, give me some kind of health, proper health. So much trouble in my health, in my job, in my family, in my relationships, in my whatever career, in my marriage, so many things. Right? So people feel that, correct? So immediately we think that, God, I am devotee. You forget it. I have done so much devotional service. Do you forget it? So we start thinking like that. So it's actually sometimes we may be more taking pride in trying to say that I am doing so much for the Lord. The devotee doesn't feel, the devotee, properly the devotee feels that actually he is privileged. I'm being so rascal. I've been having not a proper attitude. I'm having a lot of impulsive tendencies, atheistic tendencies. My pleasure is so offensive. When you do daily worship, you feel like, my Lord, so much we have to improve. So many things we do mistakes actually. Sometimes we don't talk properly about something asking. Sometimes we are spaced out. So many offenses happen. So who am I? But still I am given the privilege to be there. I was thinking, this beauty of worship by Nandam Swami Maharaj, that was a great soul. And what is, and you are given there. It's like scary, because the quality of our consciousness and devotion is, we lack so much. But still, we are given the privilege. So actually, sometimes we forget that actually devotion service is so much of privilege we are getting. So when we forget that, and then pride takes over, then we start thinking that now I deserve so many things. So I deserve respect, I deserve, all kinds of reciprocation from the Lord. He should give all my material things to be settled out. So many things we think like that. We start expecting a lot from the Lord. But if you're humble, then you won't expect. Then you only expect, oh, let me just somehow be in service of the Lord. That's my greatest strength. So humility is there, then it becomes easy to tolerate. You won't feel like tolerating also. Like a humble devotee, he easily can tolerate, so many devotees. It becomes easy. Can easily, but it becomes, when we become like, when that humility is lacking, then it's very difficult to tolerate. Then, why, that person gave me extra service, he doesn't understand, who is this? So it becomes very difficult to tolerate. I mean, yeah, they can be extra service, they can always clarify. But humility lacks, then tolerance becomes very difficult, like that. So we have to actually, keep our own heart and see that, am I really becoming humble? Am I becoming really, that mood, that devotion service is actually a privilege, like that. So I have seen some devotees in voice also sometimes, they got poor marks, they left the voice. They failed, and that day left the voice also, like that. Because they did some devotion service, they did not pass an exam, straight. We can leave. Like the Prabhuji says also, that some ladies are praying, oh my, protect my husband. Husband died, they also lost faith in God, like that. So that will be very gross. But in our life, in devotional, we have our own like that situation. When we start feeling that it is becoming difficult for me, it's too much, what we are doing, like that. So but when we see them as mercy, then our focus goes not in trying to complain and counteract those troubles, but focus goes on taking more shelter of the Lord. Oh Lord, let me take more shelter so that I don't miss out the lessons what you're trying to give me through these troubles. I don't miss out the spiritual advancement what you are bringing a package for me. The package of spiritual advancement, package of devotional maturity, what you're bringing. Because Krishna, you're preparing me for the next wonderful devotional program. More service, more devotional service, more mature devotional service, more better service. Better service, better in quality. So that way we can be more eager. We will be more curious. They say nowadays, curious, be curious. Some troubles have come, be curious. There is some mercy, for us hidden. For great devotees, it's directly, they can see directly. Like Prabhupada could see, that his wealth is going, it's mercy of the Lord. That the Lord is preparing me, like that. We can clearly see. For us, it may be a little challenging, but at least you should have faith. It's mercy of the Lord. Troubles come, it's a mercy. So let us focus on our devotional service. But what happens now? When we don't focus on devotional service, then we lose that opportunity to make advancement. That's why we have to be really sincere. Because the Lord says that He wants me, or He just wants to settle His problems on me. We have to show doing those times, Lord, I want you. For that, we need to be, very focused in our devotional service. It's very, very important. That we should do as a priority, like that. And then the next thing I was thinking about that we should have so many role models in our devotional service. Then it becomes easy. Because see, to perform devotional service, one of the very important key factor is what? Anybody can say? To be able to perform any devotional, like chanting, say deity worship, say cooking, or any devotional service when you perform, what is the root thing, the very important thing, this factor? Inspiration. That's very important. So that inspiration is very, very important factor which can actually help us, enable us to do our devotional service nicely. So how that inspiration comes? So recently when we are having this website retreat in New York, so this point was coming very nicely. So saying that, they was saying that how when actually we are able to have some role model. I was hearing Radha Shankar also, one of the lectures, he was also sharing this same point, and we have some more discussion in that same line. May not be exact, but something similar line. So when we actually appreciate, some our devotees, at least we should have some seniors, like who may be our role models, and we are relishing their devotional service, how they are relishing their chanting, how they are relishing their deity worship. Like if you remember Gopal Maharaj, relishing deity worship, then immediately you get some surge of inspiration to actually do it in more devotion. Just remembering him. Correct, no? Same way, just remember Radha Maharaj. When you are sent to some new place and you have no assets, no facilities, nothing, just remember Prabhupada. You get some inspiration there. Correct? No? Just remember your role models like that. Correct? So, like once Gopal Maharaj was so much in management, hectic management, and then he gets. And it's very difficult management because they do management in very, very tense things, right? So then it became the time of Bharat. He says, "Can I just come for some time? I'll just take time and come back." And then Maharaj goes, takes a bath, does Bharati and comes back. And he had again, no, okay, let us continue the meeting. So he did not tell also that I'm going to. He's not telling anybody. Because he's relishing. So they actually are with Krishna and then doing management. So they don't get caught up by management. So for them, it's a service actually. So whatever tension, whatever this services they take is very difficult. They take it as a service only. They don't take it as a tension because they are with Krishna. They do it as a service to Krishna. So basically, when we see these role models, then that inspiration can come in our heart like that. And for able to get inspiration from this role model, we should be able to see their devotional service. Until we don't see the devotional service, how they are actually relishing Krishna consciousness, how they are absorbed in the devotional service. When we don't catch that, when we don't relish it, what love they are having, at least some glimpse, if you are able to catch, some nectar you are able to get, that becomes the source of our inspiration. Like some people, how there's so many people sometimes join Brahmachari ashram, in Pune, how they join, or many places. Because there are so many, they were so inspired with this Brahmachari, joining the Brahmachari, how they give it. It becomes easy, correct? If you have thought on your own that you have to give up job, you honestly think, you will be able to give up. If not, it will not be easy. If there is suppose nobody, then you alone have to do. It's very difficult, right? But when you have seen people, those, and you are so inspired, and you see the Baba, their inspiration, their dedication, their, that is another level, and what we do is very little, right? We are small even, but still they are not so dedicated like him. Right? That's what we feel. So that's why you can actually, do that. So that inspiration is very important. And that inspiration also is not only by some role model, very senior Vaishnava. Actually, we should be able to be inspired by our Sangha only. Also very important. Because see, we may not have so much of, so it is very good, but most of the time we stay with the Sangha of our devotees only. So actually, our devotees also should become role models for us. And how can they become role models? Because they may not be like such great souls, pure devotees, what we have sometimes idea about. We can make them also role models because when we see them also, how they are having expressed in their devotional service. Like how they are relishing their devotional service. But every devotee has some relish, in some aspect of devotional service. If we can just remember, appreciate, admire, worship that, then when we see that devotee, immediately we get inspired to do that devotional service also nicely. How many people feel like that? Even among our devotees only we can think like that. When we see the devotee, immediately you think of, oh, this devotee is for this, or say good distribution, or for deity worship, or for just tirelessly serving the temple, or for preaching, or whatever. You just see that quality, it is so shining, you get inspired like that. Now you may say, Prabhu, but the devotee has problems also. The problems are there, but you see that, and you make him role model for that. I've seen Radhesham who does that. He is one of the it's really amazes me, Radhesham. So many people talk about the Prabhu that devotee, some senior devotee, sometimes Prabhu has said, but he doing like this, And Radhesham is in ecstasy, hearing, just focusing on that only. So he will be in ecstasy. Because we don't have to, because we need to make our advancement in Krishna consciousness. And that devotee is actually good. You may think about the problems, but those problems are very superficial, like there's some black spot on the moon. Tomorrow he will be, fully shining, going back to Godhead also. You will only think about the problem and you will remain material only. So it's our interest, and it is that devotee also is wonderful only. It's our interest that we see their, how they are doing their devotion very nicely, focus on that, and appreciate that, worship that, get inspired. So that then among our Sangha also get very, very inspired. Just by being with our devotee, because this Sangha only will stay with. Day and night we are just being with them only. So that is very important to be inspired by each other also. Very, very important. That valuing the Sangha of devotee is what we are putting. Also very, because Krishna has given these valuable gifts to us. Each and every devotee is gifted to us. For our Krishna is blessing us with those Sangha of those devotees. So to value them a lot. If you don't value them, if you just take them cheaply, just seeing their faults, then we miss their association. We will not able to, because they have so much to offer us. They're inspiring with their devotional qualities. But we fail to see that. And that's a challenge, because when we stay there and not with those devotees, then tendency to become familiar and we start focusing on the bad only. It becomes challenging like that. if the mind is like that, we have to really safeguard ourselves from that kind of mentality. So we have to appreciate the genuine practice, and that's how we become wealthy in our devotional inspiration. And that's the greatest strength, because when you have that inspiration, then you can make very good, progress in devotional service. Because then we can perform devotional service very nicely. So that's why it is very important that to become wealthy, having so much of inspiration by the Sangha of devotees. And of course, we can be inspired by our spiritual master, our great souls, Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, and all that. It's also very nice. But we need that Sangha, the devotee inspiration among the Sangha of devotees also. That is also very, very important and vital, like that. And that's why we need to observe them doing devotion service. That's why His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj very much focuses upon coming together and performing devotion service. That's how then you see also how devotees are actually doing devotion service so nicely. So coming together and doing devotion service so much, so important. So together we perform devotion service. So we get to see each other. We get to see how others are sacrificing so much, dedicating themselves. Like when we have this group, ISKCON Boston Youth Forum and book distribution. So many schools come, then you can really appreciate devotees, how they're tirelessly working. Children are going, grahasthas are going, brahmacharis are going, boys are going. So you see the photo, you can be so inspired, so nice. So many books are going. Sometimes devotees are having health issues also, but books are going. Health is also going bad, but books are also going. It's amazing. So you ask devotee Prabhu, health is, but books are also going. So that means that inspiration is there. So they're having that focus. They're able to appreciate how good things should happen. Even though there will be, in family there will be challenges, this exam and this is there, that is there. But books are good to do. So that is very nice. That's just so this inspiration is the key factor in our devotional advancement. So we have to be inspired. So that's why it's a very good sangha when we come together and when we hear, when we read, when we chant, perform devotional service, preach together, do book distribution. So it is very good. Together we can generally appreciate and appreciate the practice. Every devotee has so much inspiration to give us actually. So we should be inspired by that. And the last thing what I was thinking about is A. That is, we should not be in achievers mode when we are doing our devotional service. But we should be in the mood to receive, in the mood to accept the grace of the Lord and be accepted in the Vaishnava Sangha. So actually, all our devotional service we are trying not to think that I'm achieving something, let the people know. No. We are trying to do that, let me become the recipient of mercy and blessings of all the Vaishnavas. So that when devotees should, they feel pity on me when I'm trying to just tell something in my devotional service. So devotees can bless me like that. So whatever we are performing devotional service, like when we are trying to distribute books or we are trying to cook, and we are trying to worship the deities. So let me put my efforts in a way that Guru and Krishna will pity on me. Let the devotees be pleased with that service. Like Chaitanya Prabhu and all the family is cooking. So now you're cooking, so then I think let the devotees be pleased. So that way I'll get some blessings. Like that. So this is a mood. The devotees who are very clearly supposed just doing it for blessings. That's all. If I get some blessings, that's good enough for me. So it's how it is. So if you can just get the blessings of the acharyas, blessings of the devotees around, that's what we want. Well, ultimately, we want to be accepted by devotees. Devotees are always accepting, but we want to do something for them, to please them, to please their heart. So let us have some place in their heart. So, but if we, so that's why then our devotional service becomes with such a nice mood, such a sweet mood. Then we can avoid offenses. Otherwise, if suppose achievers mode come, then we start thinking that my service is better than your service, or you have so many faults, I am good. So achievers mode, I am better. All this that may be very unhealthy. And then offenses may also happen like that. So you have to safeguard, with that mood of achievers mode like that. Because we are not here to impress anyone. We are simply here to be accepted in the Vaishnava Sangha. So we need the blessings of those devotees. So, yeah, like you see, Prabhuji Radhanath Maharaj was doing youth preaching in Cincinnati area and all that. After New Vrindavan area. So, recently Anthony was sharing that he was having, sometimes he had 200 boys also from Maharaj for the program. And he would be awake till night 12 o'clock and you'd get up at 3 p.m., 3 a.m. That was his schedule. So, and he would cook his full feast, he would cook, he'd give lecture also, and he would have question answers till 12 o'clock midnight. So Maharaj was so much, and like that he was preaching like almost 6 to 8 years. And it was such a historical preaching going on that time. And then that time, his authority told that, this Radhanath Swami, he doesn't say no for anything. So you should come to India and take this project on Mumbai. And Maharaj was called and Maharaj did not say even a single word. And till now, Maharaj never mentioned also with any grudge that this was happening and so what kind of mood of submission and service to Guru Parampara? Because he was taking the mood that I'm here nothing to, because they told me to be serving here, I was serving. So now if I want to serve this, I'm just serving, I'm just going there. So if suppose, I have done so many, so nothing of that mood came. So he is valuing first that let me remain servant of my superior. Let me be the servant of the Vaishnavas. That identification is more complete, correct? Because all that I am doing it to attract their blessings, their mercy only, ultimately. Correct? So whatever services I am doing is to actually make place in the heart of Vaishnavas. So at the cause of suppose the authority, saying something or Vaishnavas are not pleased, if you want to do, we have to really check our attitude. Am I trying to achieve something or I am trying to actually please the Hari Guru Vaishnava? Then the authority may say, no, not do this. So sometimes, he doesn't understand. I know how to do things. I know how to preach. I know how to get so many things like that. But actually, we have to value that relationship with our devotee. That is more important. First, we have to accept. We have to know that I am acting on their behalf. There can be clarification, there can be discussion, but we have to know that ultimately I am acting as a servant. So that is our root. And services are like something going on we may do. But the main thing is that we always remain as a servant of Hari Guru Vaishnava. That is very, very important. So the achiever mode can become sometimes challenging. It will be difficult for us to progress nicely. But we should be in the mood of receiving. I am just trying to receive the grace of devotees. So when we leave our body, then there should be devotees can say that yes, we really try to please. It's truly try to please. With that, devotees can say like Sarakshan Prabhu was Pune when he was about to he got a fatal disease. He was about to leave his body. And when his brother came, he was so shocked. So many devotees were just praying and doing kirtan and everything because he has touched the heart of so many devotees by his very nice Vaishnava conduct and sweet behavior and nice service. Tirelessly would serve. Sarakshan Prabhu. So many devotees are praying. So actually doctor told 5% chance only to live. And then after so much of prayers, my brother was amazed. Brother told me, क्या चल रहा है? ऐसा लग रहा है कि बहुत बड़ा व्यक्ति मेरा भाई. So many devotees are heartily praying for him. And then later he came back. And doctor told actually he did not have 5% chance. He had only 0% chance. It was almost fatal. But what happened we don't know. Prabhuji Gopal Maharaj says, Sarakshan, I want you. You should fight. And he took it that way. Okay, I have to fight because my sister master wants me to do that. And even now he says how wonderful Vaishnava he is. He is by his sincere effort. So much Buddhism is also going on. And he is a very humble servant of Vaishnavas, we can see. He is a man, but very humble servant of Vaishnavas. Just trying to please in whatever capacity. So the thing is, the devotee sees that only, that how much sincere effort is there to please the Hari Guru Vaishnavas, like that. So Dilip Prabhu once we were telling that you should mixer, you should not make too much. Then immediately he put down the milk. Karo, sorry. नहीं वैष्णव को प्लीज करना भगवान को करेंगे लेकिन वैष्णव को प्लीज अरे ठीक है हो जाएगा. He was fighting. So I was trying to learn from him. But really, he's so conscious of so we have to serve the Lord, but we have to also be careful that we are also trying to please Hari Guru Vaishnavas together. That's very, very important. Also, we have to please the Guru, but we have to please the Guru, pleasing Vaishnavas. Actually, we have to put the sincere effort. And Krishna sees our effort. It will be challenging to please everyone, but at least the effort is seen. At least in our heart, we are thinking that we get the blessings of every Vaishnava. That is very important. Sincere effort has to be there. So then Lord makes note of it, and then Lord will help us that how we can serve in a way that it is more and more pleasing to Hari Guru Vaishnavas, like that. So I was thinking of this sutra. The first thing I discussed about the sound, the morning program sadhana was. So sutra for success in devotional service. So submissive oral reception to become servants, not for some information, not for some kind of performance, but actually want to become servants of Hari Guru Vaishnava. That's why in morning hours just give fully to Krishna. Be fully with sound. Nothing should enter in my ears. Only Krishna. I speak Krishna, I hear Krishna. Nothing else. That is my morning hours. 4:30 to 9 is fully for Krishna. Krishna, only you are there for me. Of course, devotees, some service, but I am just saying that We will not do other things, like we will not be sleeping, we will not be doing other, like say, other things, other than Krishna consciousness. So it's like our proper sadhana time that way. So it's like fully for Krishna. And then I was thinking, you use urgency, sense of urgency, not thinking that tomorrow I will do devotional service. No, today. This is the time. The bhakti is in present only. Who knows tomorrow what I will do? Now only I have health and body and everything. Let's do it today itself. Let me read today. Let me chant today. Let me serve the devotees nicely. Sometimes when you come to know the devotee is going to pass away. Suppose one devotee is detected. You got cancer, merely the body. All sympathy will come. They will remember all his glories. But till that time you are thinking, this person who I say, so many things we think. But when we understand, this person is going to pass away, or sometimes the devotee leaves the body. Then we have a ceremony and then we glorify the devotee so much. In Pune, 2-3 times happened. One brahmachari left the body, then one, like that, one boy, when devotee done PDC, he left the body. Then I was thinking, after he left the body, so much of glorification. Devotees are crying tears. I was thinking, but we don't cry tears when he's living like this. I mean, the perfection will be that when living also we are crying tears of his appreciation. Correct, no? But somehow the world is like that. We don't realize. Every devotee is so wonderful, but we don't realize that. We don't meditate on their good quality. But when he left the body, then we start meditating. Kya tha? Very बहुत अच्छा था ये तो. सोचा ही नहीं मैंने ऐसे. It was really good. It was too good of a Vaishnava. That's why I think Krishna has called him only. Or he's taken some nice service. I am rotting in this world only. So I have seen devotees crying also. And this pretty devotee. But how that time we were not crying. So that's why urgency. Even devotee also, the urgency. Serving them, pleasing them, getting their blessings. So some sense of urgency, practicing also. So chanting, reading, some sense of urgency. And when will I read all the Prabhupada books? So what Prabhupada lectures? And we'll do tomorrow, later. No, now only. Try, make some plans. Then I was thinking, please tolerate the troubles as mercy I was saying. Because that becomes an obstacle. Because then we just get distracted from our devotional service. We compromise our morning program. The job situation has come, health situation has come, family situation has come. Then first thing, devotional service value at the time. So we have to be very careful. We have to prioritize also devotional service while being undergoing the trouble also. Because it's a test. And that time if you take shelter of the Lord, understanding it's the mercy of the Lord for me to grow more. So then we can actually make more advancement in Krishna consciousness. And our understanding role models. We should have role models in our devotional service. And role model is not only Acharya, Prabhupada is our guru. Among the Sangha of devotees, we should find role models. Every devotee is our role model in some devotional service. Some devotee may be very good distributor. He is always anxious to distribute books. Some devotee is always anxious to serve devotees by cooking. He's making some devotee is always anxious to please the devotees by making juices without sugar, with sugar. Some devotee is just being management so that every temple runs very nicely. Some devotee is so much absorbed in dressing the deities and so that you make so that absorption morning 4:30 to 10 is going on and on. There is no stoppage on these without eating, without drinking. It's just going on. So every devotee has something to inspire. So we have to see the role model in every devotee and associate with that. That's why we can become very wealthy in our inspiration, like that. So an inspiration is the greatest force which can actually make us do our duties very nicely. And the last thing I was saying, we should not be in achiever's mode, but rather in the receiver's mode. Accepting. Let me be accepted in the Sangha of Vaishnava. Ultimately, I don't want anything in this world. I only want that let me be accepted as a poor aspirant of their mercy. Let me be just accepted by the Sangha of Vaishnava. Let the Vaishnava say, this fellow tried his best. He was trying. He was sincerely trying to please. That much is good enough for us. The devotees can tell this for us. He is trying. He is making a sincere effort to please every Vaishnava. So that we have to see. Because we cannot just please Krishna discarding Vaishnava. We cannot do that. We have to please Guru, Guru, Vaishnavas, all three. You should at least make an attempt. It may be challenging to please everyone, but at least attempt. Our heart should be like that. We cannot discard the some attempt has to be there. Then we should think how we can please, how we can try to please Hari Guru Vaishnava. So if that mood is there, then Krishna will help us. We'll get some directions on that. So this is called Sutra, Sutra. Sutra for making spiritual progress. Very late. You were saying something, Guru?
Prabhu, so there was one point you made. I couldn't completely note it. So it really resonated with me, and I wanted to note it. So you were saying this is how we become wealthy in our devotional inspiration.
Yeah. So because we have so many role models. So whenever we see devotees, immediately we get inspired. Like say you have the quality of just seeking the katha, and you relish katha. So when you see you, then I think, I should actually just relish katha like Shiva Santhu, because he remembers it. So many times here I forget only. But that day I suddenly asked you, immediately you told all the Ramayana pastime. Cut. I was amazed. I was thinking, my God, he remembers so fresh. And I've read it, I'm going to give class, but I don't remember. I have to go through the book and somehow repeat that. So, because you are relishing it. So that aspect of relishing katha is so deep in you. Because you can relish that. You can hear and relish it very nicely. And then you make points also of the class. Prabhu, you told this. Whole notes are going in the mind only. So that aspect is very, very, very lively there in you. When I see you, if I remember that, then immediately have inspiration to hear katha with great attention. My spiritual master is speaking so much of katha. Like that day you're trying to catch up with, Maharaj Kartik pastime, Kartika. And I was asking the guy, why you are reading? So you were there in Kartika. He said, no, but I was not so much sometimes attentive. So I want to again hear. So very inspiring. I think he is taking such a sincere effort to hear again all those lectures. He is catching up with one lecture. It's very inspiring. So like that, if you can see every devotee and get some inspiration, then we become wealthy. Sometimes we feel not. Why we feel so low sometimes? Because we are not able to take that inspiration from our fellow devotees many times. Because acharyas are there, guru is there, but it's not so easy sometimes. To be always like because with fellow devotees also we need that strength. Somebody can derive from there also, but we need as sangha also. It's more. It also adds to that. Correct, no? Some people may say somebody may not have any sangha, sometimes some kind of difficult situations, difficult fights may be going on, some great souls can still derive so much inspiration just by absorbing Krishna and scriptures. You can make progress. But in general, we need that inspiration from devotees, sangha. That if that is created, that sangha is created and that inspiration is there, then it becomes more easy to practice Krishna consciousness. Because we live with those devotees, and it becomes easy for us to just see and think of some devotional qualities and then can make nice progress. Like that. But rather opposite, if you just start seeing the fault and the problems and all that, then we actually get grouped in that negativity, then we only go down. Instead of making progress, we go down in our devotional service. Like that it is. Because offenses happen, so many things, mental offense happen, many things happen. Like that. So to safeguard also. But devotee is good. There is no doubt about it. Otherwise, how he is serving here? How he is practicing? How is practicing? He is having some good qualities for sure. It's my incapability that I am not able to see. So he has wealth, but I am not becoming wealthy. Why? Because I don't know how to, I am not able to see his wealth, and I am not able to ask. I am not able to see. That's my problem. So devotee has that. They have that wealth of inspiration in their own devotional service, something they are doing very nicely. So we should be a very good beggar to receive that. For that we should be able to appreciate it. Like beggar has to appreciate from who is begging. He should acknowledge that I am poor, you are rich. And he has to honor that. Then only he can receive. Otherwise, how will he receive? So with every devotee we should be able to receive like this. Okay, every devotee here is sitting, who has wealth of devotion for Krishna. In some aspect, they are exemplifying. Let me receive from him. So how we can honor them, honor their devotional service. So then we can meditate and then appreciate heartily, and then can beg for them, beg them also. It's best way that I can also have this devotional quality which you have, like that. So that way we become healthy in our inspiration, wealthy in our inspiration from so many devotees, isn't it? Do you understand something? Sorry. जनता श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, की जनता
की जय,
श्री प्रभुपाद की जय.
Sutra, S is sound.
Yeah, sound, and especially sadhana, and then basically the essence of that is sound. Because Krishna is available himself in the form of sound, especially in Prabhupada it is very holy name. So much is there. The thing is, sometimes they are not there with the sound. We have our material sound which is already there in mind. We need space for sound. We have to somehow hear. That's why the sangha is important. This kind of morning program, because when we come, automatically we receive. If we are not there, only then we carry. alone करना ना तो मुश्किल होता है. Company may do also, but not very easy. Like say if you come and the devotee like this lecture we got, it becomes easy. But if we like do our own something and it's difficult and not so easy sometimes. So in unity we get that strength. Sangha we get that strength. Sanghe Shakti can be very strong. So in Sangha we can access the sound more powerfully. That's why Krishna is saying, where my devotees are gathered and they are glorifying the Lord. So there I am very much present. When offenseless chanting is going on, offense glorification, Lord is very much present.
Where is this verse from? Sanghe Shakti Kaliyage?
I don't know from where it is exactly. You know Saraswati from where? Sangesh, I have heard this many times.
I have heard it sometimes.
So what was R?
Oh, R was role model. And A is also there.
Religious.
Sound, urgency, tolerate,
Achievers
reversal.
mode. What?
Achiever. Instead of achievers mode, you should have achievers
Receiver.
accepting the blessings of Krishna. Achievers also receiver. So you are not there for R and A.
Yeah. What is this? R. Because working from now.
You are in C A R.
हाँ अच्छा आपने हमारी प्रैक्टिस चल जी
Whose phone? चालू है